something to do with the fact that I'm running on about 4 hours sleep. Maybe that has something to do with it. Could not fall asleep last night. Mind wouldn't click off. I'm sure that only happens to me. All right, Facebook is up. And then I landed up downstairs watching Under the Tuscan Sun with Diane Lane. Fabulous movie. And that was enough to get my brain to click off, and I was able to fall asleep around 3 a.m. Sometimes that happens. All right, I am checking YouTube right now. Hang on if you're on YouTube. Oh, shoot, darn. Come on, Darlene. There I am. Okay. All right. I can see you if you are on YouTube. Go ahead and tell me hi. Tell me where you're from tonight. Okay. Oh, everybody's on. Okay. Hi, Linda and Pam and Darlene. I'm Darlene and Pauline. Sorry. This is not going to bode well if this is how my morning or my afternoon is going to go. Joanne and Nancy and Melanie and Missy. Oh, from Kirkland. One city over. Hi, Missy and Becky. Okay. Hi, guys. It's Monday. Yay. Oh, and Kelly's on. Yay. The best place ever, she says. All right. Actually, before we even get started, I've got a birthday wish for someone today. A good friend and fellow featherweight enthusiast in Sisters, Oregon is having a special birthday today. So happy birthday, Kelly Matt. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for being such a faithful follower. I appreciate you. All right. Oh, Lisa from Arizona. Hi, sweetheart. Joanne Keeney from Mississippi. Bonnie from Illinois. Hi, sweetheart. Kathleen and Kathy Klein from Illinois. And Jennifer's here. All right. So we're going to do a quick little rundown. My name is Darlene. I'm with Featherweight Doctor here in the Seattle, Washington area, and we are a small woman-operated, woman-founded business here in the Seattle area. We are on a quest to be all things featherweight. We have a wonderful website, featherweightdoctor.com, where we have all kinds of bits, pieces, and parts. I get on camera 3 times a week for live events to do education and fun things with my community. One of the things that brings me the most amount of joy is when people comment and say hey and tell me where they're from and engage with me, because I'm out here in no man's land just like everybody else is right now in this COVID season, and so it brings me a lot of joy to have everybody come on and join me. Mary from Seattle, hi sweetheart. And then Bridget from Rimrock, hi. Adirondacks, Patricia Hale, nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us. And Jackie's on, hi. All right, so for those of you just joining me for the first time, I thought I'd just do a real quick programming update, because there was a little bit of confusion on my Friday night sip and sew I do have mini tonight. My mom says you have mini tonight. With the programming and how we kind of generally roll, we've made some changes in the last couple weeks. So I am live Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And I have specific content that I cover on those given days. Some days are what I would call more content rich, like tonight. And other days are just supposed to be fun. We're supposed to just find our happy place, grab our sewing machine, and grab our favorite beverage of choice, and just have a good time together as a community. That specifically is our Friday night show. Monday and Wednesday show is specifically dedicated to what I would call education, both in quilting and featherweight maintenance and use. Tonight we have some topics. Tonight we are going to talk about the 3 most common featherweight issues people find when they're using them. I know I've covered this content before, but there are so many new people to my community. I just want to make sure that everybody can avoid some real common frustration. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to do the Quilt As You Go, which is our Wednesday programming. That's more dedicated to specific use of featherweight to quilting. We've been working on a Quilt As You Go project for the last 16 weeks. We're kind of coming to the end of it, and we're going to be starting a new one here around the holidays, so stay tuned for more information about that. And we're also Instagram on my pre-show. Every time I go on live at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, I go on to Instagram 10 minutes before to do what I call the pregame. And I just kind of chit chat as I'm kind of getting ready with people, and someone wanted me to go over winding a bobbin. So we're going to do that tonight too. All right, let me just say hi to a few more friends and then we'll get rolling. Thank you for everybody's patience. Hi, Elizabeth. Oh, good. She got a package today. Yay. Cindy's on. Oh, hand stitching embroidered ornaments on my stitching hand embroidered ornaments on my 1948. Lovely. I'd love to see a picture of that. Kelly, you're welcome for the birthday wish, sweetheart. Sweetheart. Hello, Linda from Michigan. And Melanie says that goes, oh, she goes, that goes both ways. You bring joy to us too. That's very sweet. I appreciate that. Okay. Let's discuss common featherweight problems. I don't care how long you have been around these little machines. One of these little issues that we're going to talk about tonight is going to get you. It has gotten me. It has gotten people on a retreat in the middle of nowhere. If I could just sing these things from the hilltops, I think that the joy, even though most people are very happy with their featherweights, but there are some frustrating things with them, and tonight we're hopefully going to alleviate 3 that might give you a hiccup. Hello, Caroline. Ooh, that's a big name. Caroline Kelly Wickert Asher from Ohio. Hello, thanks for joining us. And Lori Marr from Canada. Hi. And Elaine Babcock from, I didn't see where that's from. She just says hello. Thanks for joining us. All right. Problem number 1. Is everybody paying attention? Look into my eyes. Is everybody paying attention? Problem number 1 that will catch up every person on the featherweight is needle replacement. So inevitably, even if you got a featherweight and it was in good working order, you will need to replace your needle, and or you might break it on a pin or something and need to change it. Modern machines that are created today have specific slots for the needle to go into where they can only go into the machine the right way. As you know, the top of any sewing machine needle has a flat edge on it and then a curved edge. The flat edge on a needle, sewing machine needle, signifies the back of the needle. So on the featherweight, the needle can go up into the needle shaft in any direction, but only one way is right. And there's no guide there with the flat edge, so that way it only can slide up the right way. So you have to know which way to put it in. And this gets people all the time. Kathy Hatfield is on, and Lisa and Margaret Whitcox from Cold, Idaho. Girl, it is cold here in Seattle too. It's about 43 degrees outside. Burr. Also, just want to send out some well wishes to another featherweight fan and friend, Kathy in Tennessee. I'm sorry to hear that you're feeling under the weather, and I just wanted to send kind thoughts and prayers your way for quick healing. I love having you and Dan around, so I hope you're feeling better soon, sweetheart. All right, so the needle, there's actually a built-in sheet. Ray, can you go to the deck on the machine for me? We're going to go to our second camera angle. And as you can see here, I've got mini. Oh, there's a good shadow. Do you guys see the throat plate here? There's a flat line where the bed extension goes down, and then there's like a D. It looks like the capital letter D. This is awesome because this flat line is kind of a built-in sheet on the decking of the sewing machine. If you line the flat part of your needle parallel or in line with the flat part of the machine, then and cram your needle up into the highest position it will go, into the needle or into the needle shaft, you will get your needle in right every time. So once the flat part of the needle is lined up with this flat line on your machine, and the threading would go right to left. So it would go from the inside to the outside. Oh, hi Cindy and Deborah from Ohio on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Let's see if I can, I don't know if that's gonna roll or not. Okay, so needle issue number 1. Issue number 2 is going to be your bobbin. Thank you for staying on the low camera, sweetie. I don't know, hang on one sec, you guys. I don't know if my YouTube is going to keep rolling up. Okay, this is another area that will get you every time. You have to continually take off this throat plate to dust and clean underneath it. It will accrue little dust bunnies, And if you accrue too many little dust bunnies, it's going to start skipping stitches and all that fun stuff. So we don't want to do that. So you'll need to take this cover off pretty regularly, removing these flat-headed screws here and then popping it off. The minute you take this throat plate off, there's a little notch or a finger that is seated in the northern or 12 o'clock position on your bobbin assembly. It's a little more obvious if we take our casing off. And it's seated in this little groove underneath the throat plate. When you take this off to dust underneath there, it is going to free spin around. It's supposed to. That's how the machine was made. However, when you go to put it back on after you're done, Lisa said, that's the first thing I learned about my featherweights. Amen. I think I probably taught that to you. When you go to put this back in, you need to make sure that this little finger is seated in the notch underneath the throat plate. Even if you line this up in the northern position at the 12 o'clock position, and then put the plate down, sometimes it gets knocked out as you're putting the plate on. So just make sure before you start screwing anything down that you have this notch seated here underneath the needle plate. It will, if it's not seated properly, it won't sew. It'll stitch and not sew. Okay, let's go back up to the big camera, sweetie. Oh, Cindy's cleaning as I watch. Nice. All right, the next one is going to be how the bobbin feeds into the bobbin casing. If you have it in backwards, it will probably not, your tension will probably look kind of wonky. It may not even stitch. So the bobbin seated properly in the bobbin casing is also very important. And there is another real easy way to do this. When you're looking at the bobbin, I have my thread coming up over the top and to the left, making the letter P. And then I'm going to pop it into my bobbin casing while holding it with my thumb. I'm going to slide it around and into the groove and out the tension plate, which is the little flat part that looks like a V on the end. And then as a quick sanity check before I put it in my machine, I'm going to pull on it. And if it swings counterclockwise, then I definitely have my bobbin seated right. But don't forget, don't go through all that trouble and then not do your little sanity check. Because again, I've put it in backwards before. Everybody has. The most talented featherweight user has. So just give yourself a little bit of grace when it comes to that, and just give yourself a sanity check. So just to review, the 3 common things that trip a lot of featherweight users up is the needle in wrong and or not threaded properly, the bobbin in the bobbin casing wrong and or not threaded properly, and then the notch, the finger on the bobbin assembly not being seated under the notch of your needle plate is the 3rd thing that will get you. So now that you are armed with all of that new ammunition, you should be able to, deal with any problems that may come up. You're like, yeah, right, Darlene. That's why we have you on speed dial. All right, so I've given you our programming update. I've given you the 3 common featherweight issues. I also want to cover bobbin threading or bobbin winding. So Ray, go ahead and go to the front camera for me. I'm gonna go ahead and just show everybody the path. I think Deb's watching. All right, I'm going to roll this out here. We are going to go to the hook and then down through the button winder and then up. Oh, I need a bobbin. Ah, where's my bobbin? Oh, it's in there. All right, through here, and then I usually thread, it already has thread on it, so I'm not going to unthread it. I usually thread through one of the inside holes to the outside, like so, okay? And then you have to push this down to make contact with your belt and unset this set knob counterclockwise so that it disengages the head of the sewing machine. And then you just hit your pedal. Sometimes you need to give this washer here is worn out and you need to push down on the bobbin winder to have better contact. My only word of warning is don't get chatting with your friends when you're in the middle of threading a bobbin, because it will just continue to run and run and run. It doesn't stop automatically. I always bring my thread out even to the edge of my the metal bobbin, not to exceed that, otherwise it won't fit in the casing right. Once you're done running your bobbin, you take the wheel off of your belt and you tighten righty-tighty the set knob, and it will, dang, I can't see. Oh, she said that's the step I was missing. Good, okay, good. I'm glad, Deb, you got your question answered. And then just make sure this is re-engaged. I had some fan of mine call, not last week, but the week before, because her machine was sewing, but the head and the belt was moving, but the head wasn't moving because she had forgotten when she had put it away. She had just ran a bobbin and forgot to put to tighten this hand wheel back up, and so the head was still disengaged. So there's that. Okay, back up. Oh, there's a question. Is it okay to use a different bobbin winder? Absolutely, yes, for sure. That's Patricia Hale asking that question. I use, for my long arm, one of these Simplicity side winders, and it works pretty well. You don't have to run it on the Featherweight if you don't want to. Becky said, oh good, happy to be seeing you live today, good. I am a new owner, so appreciative of this. That's fabulous. That is exactly why I'm here. I am here to be your ambassador and to be your, I've been called the Featherweight guru, so I can help you with these little questions. I know they seem kind of simple for those of you that have a little bit more experience, but for a new person coming to a Featherweight, when you're accustomed to a modern circuit boarded, motherboarded type machine, these little things can be kind of intimidating. They're all metal and there's not a lot of knobs to adjust, and you just need to go look for the right knob to make the right adjustment on the machine. Patricia, if you have any other questions as you're getting familiar with your machine, please feel free to email the shop at info at featherweightdoctor.com. So, all right, well, so that I did all of that. The other thing I wanted to introduce, I'm going to be loading onto the website later on tonight, is we have a new product announcement, which is pretty fun. Oh, thanks, Cindy. She goes, you're so amazing. I appreciate that. All right, here is the new product. Have you guys been to a Featherweight retreat where everybody's box looks the exact same and you're not sure which one is your box and which one is someone else's? I have a solution for you. We have new luggage tags. Really nice handmade, actually leather made, leather machine made, machined tags. Actually, Ray, go to the lower camera so I can show. So if you have this new tag, there's a place to slide a business card where your contact information is, and then you know which Featherweight is yours. Isn't that fun? They are going to be up on the website later on tonight. I'm going to have them up for $25 or $24.95, and I have a good 20 of them made. So first come, first serve on these guys. I've been wanting to get these made for a long time, and I'm pretty excited about it. So they say the website on there, and a cool little, it has a cute little Featherweight on it, of course. But yeah, it will sit on your boxes and you know which one's yours in a room full of Featherweights. So that is a major perk. All right, so that's my new product announcement. Oh, so Friday we do a toast as part of our Sip and Sew. Again, the Sip and Sew is what I would call the lowest content rich show of the week. It's really just about having fun and finding our happy place. And so we do a toast to open the show. I asked my followers and my friends to send some of their favorite toast or cheers sentiments to me. And if I use your toast on the show, then you get a free prize. And on Friday night, we're giving one of these away. So that is something fun to look forward to on Friday. Wednesday is our Quilt As You Go. I'll be back 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube. We are doing Tombstone, Arizona this week. It's going to be a fun one. I have lots of fun stories about Tombstone, Arizona. We spent a Thanksgiving there, so So that'll be this week's block. And we are rounding home plate, folks, when it comes to the Quilt As You Go. I talked to a customer in Mesa, Arizona, and she was telling me that I was actually looking at a calendar with her. I was mistaken last week when I said we only had 2 more sampler block weeks. Technically that's true, but we also have the big flying geese blocks at the top and bottom, which is actually going to be 2 wide, not the 8.5 blocks square, but the 17 by 8.5 inch blocks. So we're going to be talking about those in the last week, and then there's one more week where I want to just kind of have a celebration to our Quilt As You Go journey with that project, where people can send pictures of the progress of their quilts and the finishing of their quilts before we start our new project, which I'm calling Winter Solstice, which is a cool table runner for our winter time tabletops. So, all right, well, that's kind of all I have for you today. I felt like I talked really fast, so I'm sorry if I ran through information too quick. I appreciate everybody joining me, and I look forward to hanging out with you guys on Wednesday. If you have any suggestions for this show that you would like me to cover, Melanie Mitchell, I just saw your motor question. Is it possible for the motor to overheat with lots of use? Not overheat, but it can get really warm. So maybe that's one of the topics we can talk about on a future Ask the Doctor. But if you have anything you'd like me to talk about on Monday nights, go ahead and send the email over to info@featherweightdoctor.com. All right, friends. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have a good night.